Trump sues the media and he's asking for a whopping $1.5 billion. And I hope he gets it too, because they lied about him. They said that $73 million of lost revenue was something that hit one of Trump's companies, this one ahead of the True Social Network, Trump Media and Technology Group. They're suing a bunch of these people, and we're going to look at what is inside. You can see this is the complaint. This one is filed out of the 12th Judicial Circuit out of Sarasota County, Florida. This is a state-level case, so it's a civil division, and you see here it's Trump Media and Technology Group suing. Look at all these people. You have here Guardian News, Hollywood Reporter, McClatchy, Reuters, Miami Herald, Alex Mena, News and Media, Nexstar, The Hill, Deadline Hollywood, MarketWatch.com, Benzinga got nailed, Forbes Media, Axios popped, Daily Beast got them, Salon.com, New York Daily News, Newsweek, MSNBC. Oh, Rachel Maddow and Jen Psaki are so upset. And Mediaite and DMG Media, Daily Mail, CNBC, and everybody basically got served on this one. And so here is what Trump says. It's a complaint, civil complaint. He's demanding a jury trial on this, and he's asking for some serious damages. And if you want to just see what that looks like, let's just hit it right there. Boom! Look at that number, man. And I got to count the commas and the notations here. $1.5 billion is what the final number is. Let's see what the damages entail and what Trump's team alleges. They say, all right, Judge, this case is about an unprecedented and seemingly coordinated media campaign by no less than 20 major media outlets, some might say colluding or collusion, to attack Trump Media and Technology Group and its social media platform called Truth Social by falsely reporting that TMTG had lost $73 million. Now, they say this number was an utter fabrication. Each defendant, in apparent coordination, okay, every one of these media companies, in apparent coordination, reported the exact same false number within approximately 24 hours of one another. And what did they cite? A Public Securities and Exchange Commission filing in which the mystery $73 million loss appears nowhere. Well, that's weird. They're citing a document that doesn't exist. Do they think that they're ChatGPT or something? Are they hallucinating? That's curious. Now, let's just defend the media for a second, okay? They are idiots, and they don't do anything creative, okay? They're basically copy and paste machines. That's all they do. Copy and paste journalism. I mean, at least we show the documents here before we read them, okay? They just take a paragraph and copy and paste it out of the document and put it in their article, and they call that content. And they say, oh, and then they don't actually give you the document. And then they don't offer any real analysis other than saying that if you disagree with them, you're a racist bigot and Trump is wrecking America. Whatever the story is, that's always where it goes. So in fairness to them, they do just copy and paste everything, okay? Because they're not original. So somebody just made this up, like one person, you know, one idiot in this list. We don't know who it is. And then they publish it and they're like, I'll put it on my Substack. And they put it out there and then they retweet it. And then all of the smooth brains, every one of them are just so smooth brain. Nobody fact checks anything. They just copy and paste it and they put it in their article. And this is how it works all the time. And all you need is one fake story and then it just catches fire. Or let's say a non-fake story and they all take it. Like they're not fact checking anything. They're going to sit here and tell us that they're all vetting information, but they're not. Trump says it appears literally nowhere. Now, they say this was a coordinated effort to damage Truth and Trump's reputation, to degrade the firm's financial standing, to freeze its access to capital, and to torpedo the anticipated merger between Digital World Acquisition Corp and TMTG. They say on November 13th, DWAC submitted an amended S-4 registration statement with the SEC. That marked a major milestone toward the completion of a planned merger between the two companies. Truth publicly stated that the S-4 was good news for the company. Now, because this filing involves TMTG and President Trump's Truth Social, however, these defendants, the media, they ignored or they downplayed TMTG's public statements about a positive development. They didn't want to talk about that good news. Instead, they deliberately and recklessly published false financial information to advance a preferred and a coordinated narrative harmful to TMTG, saying all defendants ran nearly identical headlines, because again, maybe it's collusion, probably, but they could also just be, uncreative people, which I think is true, that reported some variation of Trump's Truth Social lost $73 million. And they have a whole spreadsheet showing us what this looks like, but we'll get there. They say on November 14, 2023, not too long ago, TMTG contacted each of these media defendants and we notified them in their writing of their error. We specified that their statements about a $73 million loss were false and defamatory. Bunch bunch of lawyers like, what did you say, punks? And we demanded a retraction and an apology, trying to settle this like adults. But to date, while some defendants have issued little notice, quote, corrections or whatever updates, none have retracted the defamatory articles, publicly apologized, yeah, good luck, or taken any other steps to ameliorate the continuing damage. Now, although TMTG, says Trump's team, although they'll continue pursuing its mission and our planned merger with DWAC, the widespread misreporting across the entire media landscape has nonetheless deeply harmed TMTG, eroding faith in the company's operations and management, and making it more difficult for TMTG to raise capital, additional capital, to fund operations while its planned merger with DWAC is pending SEC review, saying existing investors and potential investors alike were concerned by the false stories. Now they continue saying TMTG intends to hold these reckless and malicious media outlets, the ones we just named, to account for their false reporting and for their seemingly coordinated effort to destroy TMTG and Truth Social. Carrying on, they tell us who these people are. Of course, the plaintiff, TMTG, incorporated in Delaware and headquartered in Florida. Guardian News, we know, Hollywood, all the media companies, MarketWatch, blah, blah, blah. We already listed all these people. We know we're filed here in Georgia. I'm sorry, that's Fannie's case. This is in Florida. They say here, TMTG is a startup technology company. We're going to get into some factual backgrounds here that justify that $1.5 billion damages. They say they were created and operate a company and a platform called Truth Social, writing, though relying on bridge financing to compete against dominant tech giants worth tens of billions of dollars who spent all of 2020 censoring him and then throwing him off of them. In America, by the way, can you believe that? Can you remember when they did that? Trump, you're banned. I'm the president. Oh, sorry, you're banned. No, but I'm the president, and there's tens of millions of Americans who want to hear from him. We don't care. We're more powerful than you. We have the FBI and the DOJ on our side. Get off our platforms. So they did that. So then he created his own. Now he has to fund it with some bridge financing. They say Truth Social developed its own infrastructure and now gives millions of Americans the opportunity to freely express their views, culture, politics, art, sports, entertainment, any other topic that you want to talk about on Truth. Now, in addition, in October 2021, TMTG and DWAC, a special purpose acquisition company, announced their intention to effect a merger, which would result in TMTG becoming a publicly traded company, thereby enabling retail investors who support the mission to invest directly in the company, talking about us. Now, completing the merger is a crucial part of the business plan, as repeatedly expressed in public statements by both companies and in DWAC's public filings. But on November 13th, DWAC submitted an amended registration. They say this is a major milestone. We're going to merge. All this is publicly available. But the same day that they submitted this, a major milestone, the media came out as they do. Continuing into the next, the same day, multiple days, numerous media outlets, including the defendants named here in this suit, in apparent coordination with one another, ran materially identical headlines and stories. And they each cited to the S4 filing, the same one that is here. They cited to the filing with the SEC, and they falsely claimed that the S4 showed that the TMTG lost $73 million. Oops! The $73 million figure appears nowhere in the S4 or anywhere else. It was a complete fabrication, a fabrication made by these 20 defendants within a 24-hour period. Doesn't even exist in the document. That's the media. Because they just copy and paste, and they lie, both of them. I'm like, well, you know, reading S4 forms are hard, and journalists have a tough time reading anything that doesn't support their narrative. So they just copy and paste it. Like, that's all they do. And as you can see. Now, the following defamatory headlines and statements were published by the defendants. It says here, Hollywood Reporter headline, Trump's Truth Social has lost $73 million since the launch. Right here, it says Trump lost $73 million. The filing revealed that Truth Social lost $50 million in 2022. Miami Herald, we got another exhibit. They say the same thing. Trump lost 73 in 2 years. The form that apparently they looked at shows that Truth Social lost $50 million on just $1.4 million of net sales. This one, Miami. Reuters said the following. Former President Trump has lost $73 million since its launch. Copy and pasted that line too about the $50 million in 2022. The Hill, it's just copy and they're idiots, as I said, right? And liars. So you can just imagine. You know, he's just sitting there, you know, copy and pasting documents. He's like, I'm doing a great job saving America, stopping Trump. Even read it? No. So Benzinga, MarketWatch, same thing. Truth Social lost $50 million in 2022. They are copy and pasters. They don't do anything meaningful. So Gizmodo also posted it. The company lost $50 million in 2022. The embarrassing financial news was laid bare in a filing made public this week. The shell company behind the flailing attempt to take the social media company has lost a massive $73 $73 million. MSNBC, I wonder who said this. Was this Maddow or was this inside Jen Psaki? I don't know. But Daily Mail, CNBC said the same thing, right? They're all same statements over and over and over again, all just fake. So they say the statements above also found in corresponding exhibits are collectively called the defamatory statements. They say here, the Miami Herald article referenced in earlier paragraphs, 44B, and attached as Exhibit B, purports to be a republication of the report from The Hill from November, and Miami referenced this other article, which was a republication on this. Now then, defendant Alex Mina, so maybe we're getting to the source of where all this originated, the executive editor of the Miami Herald made the editorial decision to republish the recklessly false reporting of The Hill in the New York Daily News. So it started with Miami. Additionally, the Miami Herald's version of the New York Daily News article was, quote, updated, maintaining, so maybe it started with the New York Daily News. It's hard to tell where this came from. But we continue. The false $73 million loss. But the New York Daily News revised its article to remove that false number. They said, no, sorry about that. But defendants Miami Herald and Alex Mina are responsible for their editorial choices, and they continued to publish what they knew to be false and defamatory information. Now, they tell us the $73 million loss figure does not appear anywhere in the DWAC S-4 filing, and the defendants knew that it did not, or they were at least reckless in their disregard for the truth, because each of them had access to the publicly available S-4 form that was the purported basis of their articles. Now, indeed, many defendants cited to or directly quoted from the filing. They tell us that another false statement made by 19 of the 20 defendants, all except for Axios, was to claim that the SEC filing showed a loss of $50 million in 2022. No loss is shown on the DWAC S-4. I'm not saying that. Now, so they say each of these defamatory articles has been viewed millions of times, including by residents of Florida. And as a result of these widespread lies, TMTG has suffered actual damages. Committed and potential investors have reacted negatively to the false news of TMTG supposedly losing $73 million, and TMTG's ability to raise additional capital has been impaired. Yeah, it's a big number. Why would you want to invest in a company that's losing tens of millions of dollars every year? Now, defendants are ostensibly, they say, in the business of publishing, this is the media, so-called, they're in the business of publishing factual information. Yeah, right. That's funny. But nice job, Trump team. However, their business models revolve around generating clicks, right, and driving views to their websites, no matter what is even on there. And anti-Trump stories sell, baby. In this case, the media used the occurrence of a news event, which in this case was the filing of DWAC's S-4 with the SEC, which was a significant milestone, by the way, for this proposed merger. But they used it as a pretext to intentionally or recklessly report the fabricated $73 million loss figure and sensationalize the news with anti-Trump clickbait articles. They continue saying the incredible circumstances of all the 20 defendant media companies publishing nearly identical articles within hours of one another, using the same fabricated figures that appear nowhere in the S-4 filing upon which they ostensibly rely, yeah, right, would seem nearly miraculous without a coincidence. Well, you know, the guy who's writing this is a very, good-natured person. Shout out to Jared Roberts out there. He's presuming, because he's a nice guy, that the media writes their articles. See, that's like the premise upon which all this is based in order for it to work. Like, it does seem crazy. Okay, if we're all out here, watching the same thing, we all write the exact same headline together, right? You and me, everybody watching the show, we all write the same thing together. That would be strange. Like, how is that possible? But if one of us wrote it and then everybody just copied it, you could do that very quickly, right? I mean, we could do that. I could just post something and then you could copy and paste it and we could all just do the same thing. But since we're honest people and we work for, our employers and the people we work with, we would write our own thing, right? We're not like these people in the media who just steal other people's work and copy and paste a bunch of stuff and don't come up with anything creative. And then don't even link you to the document and the PDF in their articles. It drives me nuts. You go to the New York Times, they'll say a judge ruled and then copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. And they leave out the stuff they don't want you to see. And then they don't even link you to the article, which they have the PDF, of course, somewhere, but they want to filter the information to you. But anyways, these people, the reverse of this is happening. Okay. They want it to be the same. The opposite is true. If one person can make a lie and then they all support each other with the lie, a lie told long enough, right, often enough, becomes the truth. So instead, this chorus of falsehood, they say, it evinces a deliberate, malicious, and coordinated attack on TMTG and Truth Social. So claiming, upon information and belief, there are likely to be other parties involved in this coordinated campaign that would stand to benefit from the damages caused to us. If they're going to be colluding against one person, probably going to be colluding against others. So they have different causes of action here here, one being defamation, saying Trump incorporates everything we just discussed, and they write, on November 13th and 14th, the media companies, they engaged in a concerted effort to destroy TMTG. The media have spread lies and spread the lie that a public SEC filing by DWAC showed TMTG has lost $73 million since its launch. However, the media's defamatory statements are false, and the defendants published these articles to residents of Florida, the jurisdiction in which we reside, and are filing our claim, and they've directed the articles at a Florida social media company that's based in Sarasota. Now, defendants, the media, they use their lies to drive viewers to their company, and they did it to increase their own revenue streams to get those juicy clicks, baby. Don't forget to hit that like button. Now, the media published the defamatory statements knowing that they were false or with reckless disregard for the truth. They did it intentionally. They copy and pasted it to spread the damages. Now, information regarding the true number was publicly available in the DWAC S4 filing. It's all there. You can see it with the SEC. The defendants purported to rely upon it, and in many cases cited to and quoted from the SEC filing, but it didn't exist. But they instead went forward with this lie. They published it, and because of their political animus and the opportunity to increase their own revenue streams, they did it. Now, they say the defamatory statements, they constitute defamation per se. It's just defamation. Why? Because the defamatory meaning is obvious on its face, okay? Claiming a company posted a $73 million loss when it did not is obviously defamatory because it creates a false negative impression about the financial condition of the company. And they say the defamatory statements have directly and proximately caused TMTG to suffer actual damages in Florida where it does business. These damages were foreseeable to these media companies. They're in the business of not defaming people and facing lawsuits. Now, defendants published these defamatory statements. They did it knowingly. They did it intentionally. They did it willfully, wantonly, and maliciously with the intent to harm Trump or in blatant disregard for the substantial likelihood that these statements would in fact cause harm, specifically in the state of Florida, and Trump is entitled to an award of punitive damages. Ugh. Now, as direct and proximate result of the misconduct, they say TMTG is entitled to compensatory, special, and punitive damages, as well as disgorgement of any and all income that the media have made off their lies about TMTG. Plaintiff has another claim, injurious falsehoods against all the media companies, saying that, of course, True Social is a media company, and the merger is crucial to the continued raising of capital to enable it to compete against the other big tech companies. And they say that the false accusations that the company lost $73 million is damaging. Now, they intended, when they made those statements and published those false stories, they intended their false assertions to gravely harm the company by degrading their reputation, their financial standing, their access to capital, and prospects for completing the actual merger they needed to do. They say the media reasonably recognized, and they even intended, that the publication of its assertions would result in pecuniary loss. They did it to shake the market. TMTG has suffered as a result direct pecuniary losses as a result of these media accusations, which includes costs associated with lost business opportunities and resources to defend itself against the media's false statements. Trump has to hire lawyers to go and address this. Now, they continue. This is what they're asking for. Your Honor, Trump Media and Technology Group respectfully requests this court enter a judgment in Trump's favor and grant relief against the media companies in the following manner. 1. Grant an award of compensatory, special, and punitive damages, as well as disgorgement, take that money out, of any and all income that the media companies have made off their lies about TMTG in the amount of $1.5 billion. And that's a lot of super chats. Now, injunctive relief, they say, we also, Your Honor, we want you to stop them from publishing and republishing these defamatory statements and make them stop. We also want attorney's fees and any other relief that this court deems to be just and appropriate. Signed by Jared Roberts, submitted on behalf of the Trump Media and Technology Group in Florida. And of course, we'll be looking forward to seeing what the media says about this. You know, the only thing that we were missing with the collusion here with all these media stories was basically the CIA, the CIA and Anthony Blinken and the rest of them layering in on this and saying, no, it's true. It's true. There's no evidence that Trump didn't didn't lose $73 million, and there are all the hallmarks of a loss in the $73 million, okay, something like that. So the media is fake, okay? They're liars, they're copy pasters, they don't do anything, really useful a lot of the time. They copy from the actual documents for their own articles, and then when they don't know how to write or read, when they find something that is useful against a political opponent, when they can maybe shake the markets to stop a merger or to scare off a bunch of investors, they do it. They copy and paste it. I don't know if they have a group text message or what they're using, but it's pretty clear what they're doing. They're dunking on one side of this to protect their side, and it's lawfare in action. Today, Trump is responding, filing a complaint against them. Of course, we'll continue to follow this case and others. We'll see what the media does in response to this. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for joining our channel and coming on back here for our daily live streams, inviting somebody to join you when you do, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here on the next one.